Are you wondering if you need to apply for a labor market impact assessment or LMIA to hire foreign worker? You might have heard of LMIA, but you're likely asking where to start, which documents to gather, what steps to take in the LMIA process, and finally, when the temporary foreign worker can start working for your business. I'm here to explain what LMIA is, the requirements for employers, the documents needed to apply, the differences between various LMIA streams, the timeline, the steps involved in the LMIA process, and employer obligations. Understanding this will give you a general idea of whether using the LMIA process is a viable option for your business when need arises. For those who listen until the end and are ready to take the next step, we have a bonus. What is LMIA? LMIA stands for Labor Market Impact Assessment. This is the process through which Canadian employers request permission to hire foreign worker. The reviewing body, the Department of Employment and Social Development Canada, also known as Service Canada, approves or refuses this request based on factors that I will discuss in this video. The purpose of this assessment is to evaluate the impact of hiring a foreign worker on the Canadian labor market. Only if the impact is neutral or positive will a Canadian employer be allowed to hire a foreign worker. LMIA is a standard process that all Canadian businesses must undergo. In some cases, employers may be exempt from the LMIA process, but in this video, I focus on explaining LMIA as it will be required in most cases. What are the LMIA requirements for employers? Overall, the labor market impact assessment process emphasizes evaluating employers' needs and capabilities rather than a foreign national's qualifications. Therefore, any Canadian business that needs to hire a foreign worker and complete the LMIA process must meet basic LMIA requirements for employers. The LMIA employer must demonstrate that they operate as a business that provides goods or services in Canada, show there is a genuine need for a foreign worker due to local shortages and business demands, be able to fulfill all terms of the job offer for foreign worker, have not laid off local employees during the same work in the past year, have no unresolved compliance issues, follow the rules of any previous labor market impact assessment. All these LMIA requirements must be satisfied at the time of application and maintained throughout. What documents are required to apply for LMIA? There is a list of documents to select from used to demonstrate that the business is eligible to apply for a labor market impact assessment or LMIA to hire foreign workers. All employers must provide at least 2 documents. One, to prove that the business is operational, and another to show that its financial situation is sufficient to pay foreign workers. To prove a business is operational, employer can submit one or more of the following documents: employment records such as T4 summary of remuneration paid or PD7A statement of account for current source deductions. A valid business license, but note that not all businesses will have one. Other appropriate documents relevant to the business type or industry. To demonstrate financial capability, an employer can submit one or more of the following: financial statements like T2 Schedule 100 and 125, or T2125 or T3010, depending on the business registration type. T4, payroll records for at least 6 weeks if a foreign worker is already employed by the company. An attestation from a financial institution. Other relevant documents based on the business type or industry. Types of LMIA. There are various types of labor market impact assessment streams. Employers must select one to apply for an LMIA. To identify the correct LMIA stream for your application, consider the hourly wage at the job location and the occupation you plan to fill. The high-wage LMIA stream is designed for employers seeking to hire highly skilled or semi-skilled temporary foreign workers when the proposed wage is at or above the provincial median wage. The low-wage LMIA stream is intended for low-skilled job roles and is used when the hourly wage offered to temporary foreign workers falls below the provincial median wage. Agricultural streams allow farms to hire foreign agricultural workers for specific roles in primary agriculture. The seasonal agricultural worker program is limited to workers from Mexico and certain Caribbean countries, while the broader agricultural stream is open to all foreign nationals. The permanent residence LMI for express entry stream helps employers assist temporary foreign workers in obtaining Canadian permanent residence. Employers may opt for a dual intent LMI to retain foreign workers and support their pathway to permanent residency. However, comprehensive ranking system points are no longer assigned or awarded for arranged employment. The Global Talent LMIA stream enables Canadian companies to hire highly skilled foreign professionals for specific in-demand technology and engineering roles or to fill unique positions referred by designated referral partners. In-home caregiver LMIA supports private households needing in-home caregivers for children, seniors, or individuals with medical needs. When the business chooses which stream to go with, it clarifies what the LMI process will involve for them, a standard process with all steps or some variations, additional requirements, or exemptions. What are the main steps in the LMI process? The LMI process is tightly regulated, which means there are specific steps employers must follow to get a confirmation letter to hire a foreign worker. I will explain all the steps involved in the LMI process step by step. But in some cases, the employer might be exempt from certain steps depending on the application stream they choose. Registration on Job Bank. Having a valid employer profile on Job Bank is mandatory. It needs to be completed once and remains valid indefinitely. So, for second and subsequent LMI applications, you do not need to repeat this step. This allows a business to advertise a job, assign a primary contact responsible for the applications, and add a representative, and ultimately submit the application online. It also grants access to the application, including the decision and related communications after approval. Obtaining a provincial employer registration certificate is required only for businesses hiring in certain provinces: British Columbia, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Nova Scotia. These businesses must register in the province as an employer authorized to hire foreign nationals through the LMI process. The employer registration certificate has a validity period, so employers need to renew it once it expires. Recruiting Canadians and permanent residents is a crucial part of the LMI process. Canadian businesses should avoid hiring foreign nationals when Canadians or PRs are available to fill the position. Only if the employer cannot find qualified candidates among Canadians or PRs can they be permitted to hire foreign workers, which is why conducting recruitment is essential to demonstrate the shortage. There are specific rules regarding how ads should be placed, how long they should run, how many times they should be posted, and which job boards to use, all of which must be followed carefully. Typically, advertising must run for at least 4 consecutive weeks without interruption on multiple job boards. In some cases, employers might be exempt from the requirement to conduct recruitment. Completing an LMI application through the LMI online portal involves submitting application forms, supporting documents, and, if represented, a council submission letter. While all employers must meet basic eligibility criteria, the specific forms and documents needed can differ based on factors such as the selected LMI stream, the employer's history with hiring foreign workers, and whether a representative is involved in the process. This step requires filling out the appropriate LMI stream application forms and providing documents that verify the employer's business legitimacy. All applications must be submitted online through the LMI online portal, including the payment of 1,000 Canadian dollars LMI processing fee per position unless exemption applies. LMIA application assessment typically involves a review by officer from Employment and Social Development Canada or Service Canada. The process may also include LMI interview or written responses if necessary. The officer handling LMIA will assess the genuineness of the job offer and the impact of hiring a foreign worker on the Canadian labor market. During the assessment, they will aim to answer some or all of the following questions. Is the employer actively engaged in the business? implying they operate in Canada and provide goods or services. Does the employer genuinely have a business need to fill a job position? Is the employer in a sound financial position and capable of meeting employment terms, including paying prevailing wages? Has the employer encountered any compliance issues when hiring foreign workers in the past? Will employing a foreign national likely lead to direct job creation or retention for Canadians or permanent residents? Will employing a foreign national likely result in the development or transfer of skills and knowledge benefiting Canadians or permanent residents? Will employing a foreign national likely address a labor shortage? Do the working conditions offered to foreign nationals meet Canadian standards that are generally accepted? Is the employer taking steps to hire or train Canadians or permanent residents, or have they made reasonable efforts in this regard? Has the employer met or sincerely endeavored to meet commitments under previously approved LMIAs? The processing time for LMIA can vary depending on the stream selected. It generally takes from a few weeks to several months. Employment and Social Development Canada provides the average processing times for each stream on a monthly basis. The LMIA process concludes with a decision. If, after review, an officer determines that hiring foreign workers will have a positive or neutral impact on the Canadian labor market, they will issue an LMIA confirmation letter. This letter allows employers to hire foreign workers. Conversely, if the officer believes the impact will be negative, the LMIA application may be refused. If approved, LMIA confirmation letter is valid for 6 months from the date of issuance. What are the next steps after completing the LMIA process? The first step after receiving a positive LMIA assessment is to identify a foreign worker, include their name on the LMIA letter, and sign a job offer. However, in practice, many employers add the foreign worker's name during the initial LMI application if they have already identified a candidate or if a temporary worker is already employed with them in Canada. If not, the employer has 6 months from the LMI issuance date to recruit foreign workers and to add or amend their names on the LMI letter. This must be completed at least 3 weeks before the LMI expires. Foreign nationals should apply for a work permit only after receiving a positive LMI decision. When recruiting candidates, it is best practice to confirm beforehand that they possess documents demonstrating they meet the job requirements on which the LMI was based. Having an LMI confirmation does not guarantee that the work permit will be approved. This is because the LMI assessment primarily evaluates the employer's business, while the work permit assessment focuses on the applicant's skills and suitability for the role. Therefore, approval mainly depends on documents verifying their work experience, education, language skills, expertise, and other credentials depending on the position. Additionally, establishing ties in their home country is a relevant factor. Applicants must submit their application before the expiry date listed on the first page of the LMI confirmation letter. Note that the LMI expiry date differs from the approved employment duration. Typically, the expiry date is within 6 months of the issue date, but a work permit approved via LMIA can be valid for up to 3 years. The processing time for a work permit application depends on various factors such as the occupation listed on the job offer, the applicant's citizenship, country of residence, the case complexity. Work permit authorization is required for a temporary worker to begin employment. In some cases, workers already in Canada with a valid work permit who apply for a new permit before their current one expires may continue working under the conditions of their existing permit until the new permit is approved. Employers must adhere to the conditions of the approved LMIA and the work permit issued based on it, as Employment and Social Development Canada may conduct inspections for compliance. This mainly concerns the position, job duties, hourly rate, work hours, job location, and other terms of approved employment, which cannot be changed without obtaining a new LMIA and work permit. While some minor modifications may be permitted, businesses should always consult a lawyer regarding any additional steps needed to ensure compliance. To assist your business in navigating this complex process, we offer a free assessment form that takes less than 5 minutes to complete. We can then help determine if your business meets basic requirements and suggest a suitable program for hiring a foreign worker. Once again, hiring a foreign worker should always be a last resort if qualified Canadians or permanent residents of Canada are not available to fill the role.